Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a very easy beginner friendly puff flower, and then I'm going to show you how to put them together. So these are great you can make actual Afghans out of these, you can make curtains, you could make placemats, there's just all kinds of, you can make handbags, all kinds of great things you can make with these cute little puff flowers. And once I show you how to put them together, which is really easy as well, then you can just make anything you want, okay? So let's get into our materials. So for today, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook for my puff flower. I'm using a Hobby Lobby variegated yarn. I love this print. I don't remember the color. I'll try to find it and put it in the description box below. I'm also using just a basic white for the middle of this as well. Now you can use any kind of yarn that you want, and you can use any size hook that you want, but just remember, like I always say in all my videos, the size of your hook and the size of your yarn will most likely affect the size of your work. So it'll either make it bigger or it'll make it smaller if you change from what I've done here, okay? So let's get into our tutorial. I would like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below if you haven't done that already. And please share these videos. That helps more than anything, and I really appreciate it. Also, if there's any stitches that you're not familiar with in this video, because I am going to deem it a beginner video, so it's for beginner crocheters, but if you're just so new that you don't know how to make a slip knot or hold your hook, I have a beginner video below that can help with all of those things. So after you make your slip knot, you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch from your hook. So this one right here, you're going to slip stitch into there to make a ring. So what I like to do is I put my hook into there, I hold this down, this piece right here, and then I pull through for a slip stitch. That way I leave it nice and open where I can see where to work into. A common mistake happens when you're making a chain 4 or chain 3 circle like this, and that's that you tend to work into this right here where you made the actual slip stitch, and that'll make it where you can't tighten your circle. So I really like to make sure that that's nice and open where I can see where I need to work into, okay? Now I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do 12 single crochets into the middle of this circle. So I'll be working over this chain here. So going right into the middle of the circle, I'm going to pull up and do a single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12. I've also worked around this piece as I went, okay? So now what I can do is I can tighten up just a little bit. I don't want to tighten up all the way and make everything all scrunchy around, but just a little bit. And now I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet. So not the chain 1, but the first single crochet. And so right here I can see where that chain 1 is. But if you haven't been crocheting for very long, that might be hard to find. So another thing to do would be to count back. So I think that this is the stitch that I need to work into. So I'm going to count back from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that's exactly how many we need. And so now we're going to go into this first stitch right here, the first single crochet that we did, and we're going to slip stitch to close, just like that. And now we've got a cute little circle for the middle of our flower. Now we're going to go ahead and cut off, but I want you to leave a good enough piece to work in. So just about like that. Then I'm going to chain 1 to tie off. There you go. And that's what it looks like. And now we're going to start working our puffs around our flower. So I'm going to take this variegated yarn. I'm going to go right into this place right under where we just slip stitched. And that's where I'm going to bring in my other color. I'm going to leave a piece in the back long enough to work over as I go. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this in with a chain 1. Just like that. And then I don't like to count my chain 1 as a stitch, so I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then I've got all these pieces right here in the back, and I'm going to be working over all of these as I go along. You don't have to do that, but you can see how I do it in the video if you choose to, okay? So I'll literally be pulling those up, even this one in the middle, and I'm going to be working over them as I make my puffs. So I've got a chain of 3, and now I'm going to go right back into that same spot where I made the chain of 3, and I'm going to do a puff. Now I'm going to yarn over. See how I've made this loose? You want to keep everything loose when you're making these puffs so that they're easy to go through. So I've even made the loop on my hook a little bit loose. Normally it would be tight like this. As you can see, it's sitting up against the hook. But I'm going to let my finger go and let my tension go a little bit and just pull it up. Now I'm going to yarn over, go back into that same spot, pull up once, yarn over, go back into the same spot, pull up twice, yarn over, go back into the same spot, pull up 3 times, okay? Then I'm going to go into my next stitch, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to yarn over, go into my next stitch. Again, I'm working over all these pieces. I'm going to pull up once, yarn over, go through, pull up twice, yarn over, go through, pull up 3 times. So I've got all these loops on my hook now. I'm going to yarn over and go through all of these loops. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to chain 2. Then I'm going to go back into that same spot that I was just working into, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. And there's 1 puff of the flower done. Now I'm going to go into my next stitch, and I'm going to put a slip stitch, and I'm going to start that all over again. So I'm going to chain 3, working in the same spot we just slip stitched into. I'm going to yarn over, go through, pull up once, yarn over, go through, pull up twice, yarn over, go through, pull up 3 times. Then I'm going to go into my next stitch. I'm going to yarn over, go into that stitch, pull up once, twice, and 3 times. I've got all these loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go through all of those loops. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to work right back into that space we were just working into to do a slip stitch. And then I'm going to go into my next stitch and work a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to repeat again. I'm going to yarn over, go into the same space, pull up once, yarn over, go through, pull up twice, yarn over, go through, pull up 3 times. And then I'm going to go into my next stitch and do the same thing. Yarn over, go into there, pull up once, twice, 3 times. Then I'm going to go through all of these loops. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to chain 2. Then I'm going to go into the same spot and do a slip stitch. Now I feel like I've worked these in enough in the back, and I can cut those off, making sure not to cut off the actual piece I'm working with. So I'm going to pull tight, cut that off. And now I'll have nothing to work in when I'm done. Now I'm going to go into my next stitch and make a slip stitch. And I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And again, we're going to work another puff. What I'm going to do now is just quietly work puffs to the end, and you can just watch as I do them. Okay, we've just worked our last puff. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just know that all of your flowers should have 6 puffs. And now to close this, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our very first stitch where we worked in right here for this first puff. We're going to go right into there and we're going to make a slip stitch. Then we're going to turn over our work and we're going to cut off, leaving enough room for us to work in. And then we're just going to tie off with a chain 1. So I just pull through, pull tight. Then I'm going to go into the back, and I just want to show you real quick how you can work in this piece really quickly. So I'm just going to go through the back of these puffs and pull in this yarn to work it in. But these puffs in the back are really loose, so you want to make sure you get through some of the tighter strands, but that you're not getting through to the front. So I'm going to go right under some tighter strands right here of this puff. And then I might try to go a little bit deeper into this one. Pull through. And then I'll go into these tighter pieces right here and pull through. And you just keep working it in till you feel like it's nice and tight and won't come undone. And then you can pull tight and cut off. And now you have everything worked in and you have a completed puff flower. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to piece these together. But I want to show you how to do it while you're working. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do another flower, and I'm going to complete 4 of the petals, okay? Then when we get to the 5th one, I'm going to show you how to place it onto this one as you're crocheting. Okay, so now we're about to work on our 5th puff, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go through just like you're making it normally. You're going to go into your next stitch, place the slip stitch, chain 3, go into the same space that you've been working out of for this chain 3, and do a puff. 1, 2, and 3. Then go into your next stitch to make your other side of your puff. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to pull through and you're going to go ahead and chain 1. Then you're going to pull this up. You're going to work on the back of this one. So each flower, you're working from the back side of it. So turn it over, turn this flower over, pick this up, and you're going to be working in these bottom spaces here. So in these spaces right here, where we've done our chain of 3s. So I'm going to go to this side of this one. I'm going to pull this through, just like this. And then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to finish this off by going in here with a slip stitch into that same space. And pull through, okay? Just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to work our other puff just like we would as well. So we're going to go into our next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 3, work a puff, go into the next part of your puff. 1, 2, 3. Then go through all of those, chain 1, pull your yarn out, and now we're going to work on the other side, okay? So we're going to pull this up with this facing the back way towards us, and we're going to go over here to this side, and we're going to pull in this way. So we're going to go right in here. Then you're going to chain 2, and you're going to go right into here to make a slip stitch. Then you're going to close by going into your first stitch that you ever worked into when you started your flower, and you're going to make a slip stitch. And now you can cut off, and you've got both of those flowers joined together. Make sure that you leave a long enough piece to work in, and that's the way it looks right there. And so you would do that with all of them. So if you went down here, you could join here, you could join here. You can join anywhere you want to. You could keep going, just keep going straight down, make it as long as you want. You can start with these two over here. Of course, yours would not be, you could be working them in as you go. Another thing, if you wanted to, if you don't feel comfortable with that, or if it was too confusing, is you can always sew them together. So you can just place them just like this and sew them right to here and to here. Okay, so you can do that as well. You can do it any way that you want. And then any piece, I like to work these on as I'm going so that it's not too much to work in later. And so then I just pull this through. No darning needle required at all when you're doing it this way, which is wonderful. And then you just keep working it around like I showed you before. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you need any help or have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask. You can find me below, obviously, in the comments section, but you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So I'll see you soon, guys. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.